don't you love it when you get people that think they're so politically sophisticated that they miss the whole point you were trying to make? They miss the whole point you're trying to make. What you should focus on policy. In other words, not vote a person, you vote your interest. What they missed is the interest part is the independence of the black male vote. The Ice Cube effect, not Ice Cube himself. They talked about all the budget stuff that was inside the bills that never get out of Congress, just like reparations. Never went to the House, never went to the floor. Stuck 40 years. Stuck 40 years. In fact, the person that put the bill in for reparations, forget the name of the bill, he has died since, waiting for his bill to get out of basically committee as a resolution and to hit the floor for up or down vote. Still there. A lot of the stuff that for black men especially is still there. A lot of stuff for black people is still there. You had affirmative action come and gone. Same time you're looking for reparations, when a bill that's been waiting around for years just to hit the floor has come and gone. Right? The guy has come and gone. Reparations is not reparations, but affirmative action has come and gone. You're still waiting. So, putting somebody in place, saying that they have something on paper for you doesn't mean anything unless it gets out of committee, out onto the floor for up or down vote where it's actually a law. That's one thing about we having a president with the executive order. Executive order starts taking place as soon as he signs it. You can access it. Hell, you had the Dear Colleague letter blossom into yes means yes and me too within 6 or 7 years because the president signed it. Just on him signing a piece of paper. Just on the secretary signing a piece of paper, you got action. So a candidate saying, I'm going to put something in committee in Congress and make a resolution that never goes anywhere, that's fine. If somebody's going to stay with it and start pushing that resolution to actually get on the floor. Or saying that we need more folks to get behind this resolution, which never happens. Why? Because guess what you don't have? And it's something they told Franklin Delano Roosevelt before he started the New Deal. He told his citizens, you're going to have to get behind me and put pressure on me. And put pressure on Congress and put pressure on the Supreme Court, social pressure on the Supreme Court to get something done. And that's the piece that you're missing. Social pressure, especially in the age of social media. People forget that the Arab Spring in 2011 started with one man, a fruit salesman that had enough, had his car taken. He burned himself. Now, that's extreme. I'm saying anybody should burn himself. He burned himself to death in front of the House of Parliament in Tunisia. Now, in itself, it doesn't mean anything. He's one guy, one incident. Poor broke dude had nothing. But that image struck a nerve all the way out through Northern Africa and all the way into the Arabian Peninsula. Caused ruckus for a whole 3 years. All the way across, even to the point where you had Occupy Wall Street in the United States. One guy. It's called social pressure. The right social pressure at the right pressure point will get things moving very quickly. Black male independence is what I was trying to illustrate, which I reiterated more than one time. That's like I'm going to put Ronald Neal's voice at the very front. Everybody talks about why you stand with Ice Cube. Ice Cube in himself is a good gesture. The contract itself was not the point. It was the cocktails with queens on social media in front that said they are not the same as black males' interests. They're independent. That was the point. That was the whole point of why I put the video out, I Stand with Ice Cube. When Dr. Neal said that, what did he say? That was a seminal moment. That was a pedagogical moment. In other words, that was a teaching moment, not for the United States, not for black women, not for the Congress, not for anybody else. It was for black men. We plant a flag that black men are going to look after their own political interests. That was the point. Black men saw that across the nation that Ice Cube stood up, and black men found out that they're by themselves because your black woman was not going to help you get this thing across. So now instead of black men just blindly going behind black women and asking for something, or behind their interest, or falling behind them as flat blackness, black men have something to say. Black men have a point. The black male vote has to be courted, just like the black female vote has to be courted. Stacey Abrams in Georgia found that out. Had a sister here, and mayor in Los Angeles, she found that out. That's why I emphasize the Ice Cube effect, not Ice Cube himself. The Ice Cube effect is what was important. And you got brothers that still do not understand that. They're supposed to be politically sophisticated. And no matter how many times you show them and you point out the point, they still don't get it. Can water penetrate a dry stone? Hard-headed. The Ice Cube effect showed up 2 years from that point. That was the flag that was planted. The professor called it. Doesn't seem like much. Didn't seem like anything at the time. Everybody said it's not going anywhere. It doesn't mean anything. It's not going to do anything. They're not going to listen to us. 2 years later, they're courting us because now they have a black male problem. Stacey Abrams, I said, 2 brothers that you have a black male problem. Now, it may or may not have cost her the election. We don't know. But now you got the Republicans, you got the Democrats, you got everybody doing what? Listen to what black men have to say. You got people looking at the black male political agenda that would have never looked at it before. You have movement. You have movement in things. There's other circumstances, there's other pieces of the environment that you need, just like the Arab Spring could never happen independently if the environment was not right for it. Social pressure in the right social point to get movement. But now male voices have to be heard because the pendulum has swung too far in the other direction. That's how come you have things like in Tennessee, talking about mandatory paternity testing at birth. That's how come you have laws being looked at, 50-50 custody in Maryland, paternity testing in Texas, the end of lifetime alimony. In Florida, ended already, try to do it in Texas. That's movement. For 50 years, they tried to get this implemented. They could not move this. Now there's movement. There's social pressure. Doesn't seem like much. Oh, 50 guys can't do anything. One guy cannot do anything, that's true. But one guy can start movement. The whole creation of the universe started with one particle moving. One caused a chain reaction, and all the stuff that's visible that you see here started with one particle changing state and moving at the right time. We call it the Big Bang now, okay? For lack of a better term. One particle moving at the right time can start a reaction called social pressure. Another thing, don't believe me? Passport Bros was a hashtag. A little hashtag. Didn't mean nothing. Shout out to King Sigma. Didn't mean anything. The idea was sound. The implementation was sound if you could implement it. But the environment wasn't ready for it yet. Fast forward to 2021, post-COVID, remote work. People with money and the means can go elsewhere, right? So all of a sudden you can outsource or offshore your dating. Very difficult before 2020. Very difficult before COVID because remote work was not a thing. But now you have a whole country, a whole globe doing remote work. and setting up apparatus for remote work. So the environment shifted. So now somebody that had to go hit a clock every day in an office building can stay home in his pajamas and do his work in his city or someplace else in his state or someplace else in his country or someplace in this world. And now Passport Bros goes from a small hashtag to a global phenomenon. The right social pressure, the right meme, the right idea, the right spark at the right time. Action, reaction. But you keep teaching the lesson over and over and over again. Like I said, does water penetrate a dry stone? Or how long does it take water to penetrate a dry stone, if it ever does? That's the lesson that people keep not learning. And just like Luke Skywalker says, I don't believe it. And Yoda says, this is why you fail. That's why I stand with Ice Cube. That's why I stand with Dr. Ronald Neal when he said, plant the flag. Black male independence, black male agency, and black male empowerment. Get behind this, get behind that. Now get behind yourself. Stop being Toto. I told the brothers, the Passport Bros. Oh, the Passport Bros. We gotta renege the name because black women's is gonna ruin our reputation, and they's gonna come after us when we go to foreign lands. Well, so good white boys got behind it. White women are complaining about Passport Bros. Right idea, right time, social pressure. Oh no, Passport Bros. You Negroes is just on something. Told you back then. Escape velocity. It's gone already because the environment's ripe for it. You can't take it back. Black male agency, the Ice Cube effect is already out there. You can't take it back. Every politician in the United States knows that there's a potential black male problem when it comes to voting. It's untapped. And now black men know they can ask for something where they didn't believe they could before. Social pressure and the right pressure point. One day, some people are going to learn the lesson. Stop being freaking hard-headed. Stop trying to be right. You're not a woman. You don't have to use sign language because I hear a lot of sign language. Shame, guilt, and need to be right. Stop being hard-headed. Admit when you're wrong and move on. I had to learn that as a Gnostic. Shut your mouth, admit what you're wrong, and move on and pick up the right mantle, pick up the right lesson. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. This is BGS out, or I should say the Master Teacher out. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.